Hi everyone, it's me, Jerry, and today it's going to be another week of our Runescape adventures. Now, between last week and this week, there's been a lot of stuff that I've been doing differently in terms of RuneScape. This is based on primarily on my own progress over the game, but also some changes to real life that I then have to adjust my gameplay to account for that because I am going to be starting my second year clinicals. Incidentally enough, on Monday, so I'm going to have a lot less time to actually be on the game. So we're going to actually transition and focus skills that are a lot more AFK, and the profits aren't really going to be a huge deal for me, but we're just going to be leveling a lot of skills that maybe don't really have a lot of intrinsic value within themselves just because we are opting for more AFK options rather than kind of EHP based alternatives. And unfortunately, it's not like I enjoy it or anything like that. I mean, it's super slow, but hey, EXP is EXP to me at the end of the day. As long as I get my work done and I'm still progressing both in real life and in the game, that is good enough for me as it is. So with that in mind, I have actually been leveling up fire making quite a bit. I actually went from 66 to 71 fire making. I don't really enjoy the skill as much. It's not really fun, but with the introduction of the Wintertot minigame, it's actually not too bad, I suppose. Games are very, very short. They're a very easy way for me to drop my HP, and then I can transition that into a different AFK activity, so that way I don't have to use any food, yada, 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 etc., etc. But yeah, as you know, for most people that play RuneScape, fire making itself actually has no intrinsic value within itself. It's just simply a 99 skill that you would get. Really, realistically, lighting logs and cooking stuff, most people don't really do that anymore unless you're like an ultimate Iron Man or like a regular Iron Man that needs to cook something. But even then, you're probably almost always going to cook it on a range, which gives you a higher chance of actually cooking the food without burning it. And if you're training cooking itself, you're probably training it really, really close to a bank rather than using a fire. So this would include like the Myths Guild bank, the Rogue's Den bank, as well as the Hostidius kitchens. So yeah, the skill itself not really anything to jump for joy over. Just simply another 99 to get along the way. Hopefully I will get a Phoenix eventually, but I'm not really holding my breath. I think that's like a 1 out of 5,000 chance. And considering that I didn't even get the raccoon for thieving, we'll get to that much later. I'm not really holding my breath. I think my pet luck is actually pretty shitty on this account, so it is what it is. But in terms of playing the Wintertot, I actually got the Pyromancer garb, the top, and then the Pyromancer hood. I've already had the Bruma torch. I think I had 3 of them even before I started the series, just because I was leveling up fire making to get to 66 in order to do making friends with my my left arm. But I think okay, so the Pyromancer garb, I think I still need like the pants and the shoes. I already have the warm gloves as well, but I don't think the Bruma torch and the warm gloves actually account for the overall fire making bonus EXP that you get off the set itself. They're more of just like for aesthetic purposes, so it is what it is. So realistically, I think I need like 2 more pieces of that. I think the Pyromancer set itself, it's a relatively low drop rate out of like the supply crates from the minigame. But in my opinion, it does look kind of cool, so it'd be really nice to actually have that in my bank, and later on I'll probably like put it into my player-owned house and stuff like that. But yeah, so in between training, fire making, and like dropping my HP, I then transitioned that into woodcutting, which is a lot more AFK. So I went from 71 to 76 woodcutting, and then starting from 75 woodcutting, I actually started chopping yews in the woodcutting guild. So that's a lot more AFK. I think previously I was just doing willows, just to level up a little bit. I should have actually done maples looking back on it, so that was kind of a mess up on my part, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think woodcutting, you don't really make a lot of money off this anymore, just due to the fact that most commodity items and most resources are like heavily botted, or the markets are flooded from PVM. So I think right now, if I would cut yews, it's only like 110k an hour or something like that. So it's very, very low in terms of like gold per hour and income. But again, it's very, very AFK. I don't really have to focus on my screen. I can just do other stuff along the way, which is kind of nice, honestly. Beaver Pet, I think it's like 1 out of 82,000 or something, chopping magics or redwoods. So very low chance. Again, I don't really expect to get the pet. I'm just simply going after the cape and getting it as soon as possible. Along the way, I actually also got one random defense level up. I had to get some more Nightmare Zone points for this one because I was getting low again. So I got about like 2 to 3 million points. Should last me for like the next month or so before I have to do it again. Um, Ultimately, I would like to get 80 defense because then at that point I can then make Ferocious Gloves and I'll have best in slot melee, which is kind of nice in terms of like gear. That's going to be a really, really nice milestone. Um, but yeah, so I also got 78 herb lore. One day I just got really bored one night. I decided to make some potions. I think I made the rest of the grimy irrits into super attacks, and that actually pushed me over from 77 to 78. And 78 is actually what you need, I think, for raids for Chamber of Zarek. So that's a really nice milestone. But again, I'm not going to be able to raid for a very, very long time, if ever. So it doesn't really mean much to me, unfortunately. We also got one random farming level up from doing a few herb runs. So I got 81 farming, which is kind of nice, but I don't think this actually unlocked anything. So not really a huge deal overall. Also went from 93 to 94 fishing, again doing infernal eels, very, very AFK. But I think I'm actually gonna stop training fishing just because of the fact that I do want to get the other unlocks in fishing. So that is like the one-handed fly fishing rod, the one-handed regular fishing rod, the one-handed oily fishing rod, I believe there's one, and then there's like a fishing sack, which is like a cosmetic back item that you get from aerial fishing. So I don't really know how much EXP I'm going to get off that, but I do know overall, like every one of those things costs like 100 Mulk pearls or something like that. And I think the fishing sack actually costs like 1,000 or something ridiculous like that. So the rate at which you get the pearls is extremely low for aerial fishing. Like I think you only get like 10 or 12 an hour, something ridiculous like that. Or maybe it's higher than that. I'm not really sure. But because it's so click intensive, it's not AFK friendly at all. So I'm not going to be able to do that for a very, very long time until I'm able to actually have the time to be able to do something that's not really AFK friendly. So we're going to stop with fishing right there. I'm not really in a huge rush to get the cape. I just really want to get all the unlocks before I get the cape, just because I don't want to go back and have to do it after I get 99, which is kind of like a pain in the ass. But I am kind of like a completionist, so having all the unlocks is really something that's really for me. I mean, it doesn't really benefit me at all in terms of like EXP wise, but I don't know. I think just having those items are like kind of cool to, just for Fashionscape or stuff like that, just like for collector's purposes, for like maxing out an account. So it does give me an overall wider scope in terms of like my experience of RuneScape as well, which is kind of nice. Thieving actually went from, I decided, you know what, I really want to just get the cape. I'm so close anyway, so I ended up just pushing from 96 to 99 thieving over this weekend. Did a lot of AFK Ardoin nights. When my HP was capped, I did Pyramid Plunder. Rocky is like 1 out of like 1,600 for like the last gold chest Pyramid Plunder. I've done like several thousand games of Pyramid Plunder by this point, and unfortunately I did not get Rocky. We will probably go back eventually and do try and get the pet, but for now, that's just another skill cape that's done and over with, so that's kind of nice. I also did temple trekking. I've actually never played temple trekking before, but it was actually kind of fun. So I got all 4 pieces of the lumberjack set for woodcutting. If you guys didn't know, the lumberjack set is actually extremely easy to get. I think it took me like 35 minutes overall by just AFKing Route 1 and then abandoning it if you don't get the zombie random. And it gives you like an extra 2.5% extra woodcutting experience for every log that's cut. And because the set is so easy to get compared to like other sets, such as like the angler set, that it's actually really, really worth getting now because of the hotfix that you're actually guaranteed to get a piece per zombie random, and also because it is guaranteed to drop a piece that you don't have. So it's actually super fast getting the set, and you know what, it's gonna help me a lot in terms of like AFKing. So definitely something worth picking up, and I'm really happy I ended up getting it. I also killed my first mimic for an elite clue scroll. This shit was actually a lot harder to kill than I thought it was. But we did get that. Did not get really anything good out of that. I will include the Elite Clue Scroll screenshot later on in this video. But, I mean, it is another milestone, technically, I suppose. I did unlock the extra music sheet, so I'm one step closer to the music cape. But yeah, I'm hoping to get a lot more Elite Clue Scrolls down the line, because it would be really nice getting that Third Age ring. It is another unique item, after all. But we did do quite a few clue scrolls, did get a number of these from fishing, infernal eels, and I do get a lot of these from like wood cutting and stuff, which was really interesting because in terms of like wood cutting, I don't know if it's just my luck, but I tend to get like a lot more easy and medium clue scrolls rather than beginner clue scrolls, whereas when I was fishing, I got a lot more beginner clue scrolls than any of the other clue scrolls. So I don't know how that's really calculated, like how the RNG works in terms of that, but the clue scrolls, honestly, like in terms of like beginner clue scrolls, pretty underwhelming. Again, they're beginner clue scrolls, so I'm not really expecting much. I mean, even like the rarest item, which is like the shoulder parrot, it's only like 1 mil. I think at this point it's like even less than that, honestly. But yeah, so not really too exciting there. Easy clue scrolls, not really that great, to be honest. We did get a few uniques here and there, which is kind of nice. So it is a little bit more money in the bank, and then it also expands my clue tab, which is looking pretty nice right now. I really enjoy just hoarding stuff. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy playing RuneScape so much. But yeah, only did 2 medium clue scrolls, but again, we got a unique item, but it's not really worth much. I think overall that clue was only like 40k or something like that, so nothing too exciting. And then in terms of like the hard clue scrolls, getting a lot more god pages, but besides that, not really anything too exciting. I ended up getting a master clue scroll off of one of the hard clues, but we could not complete it. That was pretty tragic. I'm stuck on the Sherlock step where it requires me to make a Barrow's teleport tablet, which needs 83 magic. I'm currently at 77, and I'm not really wanting to like train my magic right now, so it's gonna be sitting in my bank. I think that's like on step 5, so I only need like a couple more steps and I'll be done with that master clue scroll anyways, but it's gonna be a while until we finally get around to completing it, unfortunately. And then in terms of like elite clues, again, not too exciting. We end up getting a master clue off of one of the elite clues, and I think the other elite clue was the one that I ended up killing the mimic on, but because I ended up resetting it on it once, it actually removed one of the rolls, so I didn't even know about that, which is really tragic, but you live and learn, I guess. But I was able to actually complete this master from the elite clue. Reward, honestly, pretty fucking underwhelming. It's really sad whenever you get firelighters for any of the clues, because firelighters are technically, I think, the same rate at which you get third age and the same rate at which you get gilded items, so pretty sad about that, not gonna lie, but it is what it is. But yeah, so here's the update of my stats. Next few weeks, again, it's going to be a very major transition in my life, learning a lot more stuff, going to be a lot more busy with school and clinicals. I don't really start classes until late August, so the month of like June to like early August is literally just going to be me focused on clinicals, and I want to do my best here. So yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be kind of it. Probably not going to be doing a lot of scaping all that much outside of like AFKing and stuff like that. But hey, we're still making progress. I'm still happy about that. I'm really glad all of you guys are still sticking with the series. So really appreciate each and every one of you guys hanging out today. And I'll see you guys next Sunday, hopefully, unless something comes up. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.